answer it, Jake. What was that?
What do you intend to do?
First of all, find the man who killed my father.
Does it say anything else?
No. What do you want me to do? Just a minute. Something's happened to the lights.
Hello. Hello, Holt speaking. Get this through to the hue and cry. Wanted for murder. Dr. Orloff, 48, hair graying, blue eyes.
There are some people who believe in ghosts, and there are some people who don't. If you're the believe in ghosts kind, then this story is about one. And if you're the don't believe in ghosts kind, well, just for fun, this story is about one anyway. His name was Casper, and he was surely the most unusual ghost there ever was, or wasn't, depending on how you feel about it. Every night, at the stroke of 12, his brothers and sisters scampered out joyously to frighten the folk of the neighborhood. But not Casper. He'd rather stay home and not frighten people, which goes to show how unusual he really was.
Wake up, Casper! Time to scare people!
Casper just doesn't like to scare people. Guess it sounds sort of silly, but, well, he'd just rather make friends with them. This has been going on for ages, and Casper just couldn't stand it any longer. So, Casper decided to leave home, to seek new environments where he might forget he's a ghost and make friends with the world.
Good morning, friend.
My name is Johnny. What's yours? My name is my name is Casper. Do you want to play with us? You mean me? You wanna play with me? Mother, meet our new friend Casper. Hello.
Somebody, get that ghost out of here! Don't you come near us! Go on home! You go on where you belong!
Tell your mother I've come for payment of the mortgage. A ghost! The house is haunted! Keep the mortgage!
I'll never be nothing but a scary old ghost without any friends.
So, if you're the believe in ghost stories kind, this is what happened. And if you're the don't believe in ghost stories kind, well, this is what happened anyway.
Wait a minute. When I said poison, I meant it. Look.
Monty.
What's all this about somebody trying to kill Abigail? Where did you find out about that?
I gave that to Mother tonight. She bawled me out for it and said she was going to give it back to Abigail in the morning.
Oh, then you're the guy that slugged me.
Yeah, and I'll do it again anytime you train down to my weight.
You really want some tea?
Yes. I take my tea strong. It makes me sleep better.
You'll sleep.
Oh, saccharin, huh? It keeps your weight down. And anxious little things, aren't they, huh? Pretty strong for their size, too.
Drink, and you'll sleep.
Mr. Penny. What are you doing with that coffin?
Well, the coffin is a very fine head.
Yeah, well, what's that body doing in there?
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friends, Mr. Evan Sink and Mr. Fresh Rogan. And I think that's the first time I've flubbed the intro like that. So
not bad. We made it a whole season at least.
Right. Hey, first time. Hey, S Sink is in the house. Good to see you back. Good to have you here tonight, joining us.
Our most devoted fan.
Seriously, between S-Sync and, now Fresh is literally, well, not literally in the house, because Evan and I are literally in a house, but Fresh is in the house through the wonders of technology. And so he's come from the chat to now grace us with his beautiful, beautiful voice. Right. Yeah. Your wife is just here to support you. That's, so she sits through these horrible, horrible movies that we watch.
That's just part of the contract. That's just marriage.
She's like, I'll sit through Caligari, and, it's like, I guess I can't argue because I signed the contract.
Well, there was a lot of foresight in the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
You must watch the Scream stream every time it's on.
Right. Yes. Yeah, you have to answer for that, Evan. Yeah, so glad you're joining us tonight. Glad to be bringing you guys another public domain horror movie, as we do every Friday night at 9 p.m. Tonight's film is the top of our stable of stars that you will find here on the Scream Stream, and it's Bela Lugosi, and he stars in tonight's film, Invisible Ghost.
Again, the man. He strikes again.
The man, the myth, the legend strikes again. If you've been following our mini-sodes on Wednesdays, we've been watching a movie serial that stars Bela Lugosi as a mad scientist. It's been a lot of fun. Cliffhangers and fedoras, and just go check it out on YouTube. We've got episodes on YouTube.
I don't mean to speak ill of the man himself, but I will say he was in a lot of movies that no one seemed to care enough to renew the copyright on.
Yes. Unfortunately, that is a whole topic of discussion in and of itself. Is why is Bela Lugosi the most prolific star that we'll find in the public domain? Why are all these movies? And again, I think part of it is because, especially the Poverty Row movies that we've been watching, they just didn't really renew copyright.
They had one guy at Monogram who just wasn't doing his job.
Well, yeah, pretty much. And again, I think some of them are copyrighted, but not all of them. Again, as we learned in season 1, Voodoo Man is copyrighted.
Wah, wah.
I actually looked through the records to verify that, and I think it checks out.
You dug through the files.
Yeah, they have them digitized. They have the cards digitized, so I was able to go and look at the original registration card, and I was able to find a renewal card, which that's the problem with most of these films, is that the original copyright, it was usually filed, but it may not have been renewed, and so then it lapsed. But I think there are a couple of these that the copyright was never filed, and some guy at Monogram was just slacking, just sleeping on the job.
He was on vacation that week.
Yeah, pretty much. Every 2 weeks out of the year. And
the ex-copyright files.
Right. I mean, it's a mystery. You would love to know who's responsible. Who
Only
is this?
Garrett has access to the skiff that holds these classified documents.
I really do. No, you can access them yourself through the Library of Congress.
At your public library.
Yeah, or at your own public library. Gotta support your public library. Right, Evan? That's in the contract too, right?
Yeah.
That was in the prenup. It's stated every episode you have to plug public libraries.
And it's actually, I have a copy right here. It says you have to say this verbatim in every episode. Having fun isn't hard when you've got your library card. That's what it says you have to say.
Be careful, is that copyrighted?
Yeah, well, hey. If it isn't, it should be now. Copyright Fresh Rogan. That is, whatever we can do to help the libraries, because I gotta imagine it's hard in this day and age of just digital everything. going to a library is, you should still be supporting it. Read, people.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of digital things at libraries now.
Right.
Dude, I got a library card for
Underutilized
Denver.
resource.
You can get audiobooks and ebooks and
Yeah,
I used to be able to get a free Linda subscription to learn stuff, but
There
they
you go.
stopped
That's
because
a lot of
information you had to provide.
a lot of public libraries offer like Canopy. Like if you've got a library card, that's a streaming service that has it has a very good library of films. Very library. It's not like what you're gonna find on Netflix. It's classic films, it's foreign cinema, it's all these things. But you can either pay for it straight up, but if you have a library card, then you can get Canopy is pretty cool. We're okay. We gotta move on from the library. Library corner is done.
We
did
love
it.
libraries, but
Library.
we're here to talk
library
about something
talk.
else.
Yes, we're talking about public domain horror movies, and we're talking about Invisible Ghost, and we're talking about Bela Lugosi. I mean, that's probably mostly what I'll be talking about, and the ridiculousness of, the Monogram films that Lugosi did. But Fresh, what the hell have you put in the chat? I haven't looked at it. I don't know, but I'm just gonna go ahead and guess it's something.
You gotta play it on
batshit
stream right now.
No, I
I
refuse. This is some kind of
Come
Rickroll
on.
or some kind of no.
It's not a Rickroll.
I'm not. Whatever it is, it's not. It's a trap. I'm not falling for it.
Will you play
Not
it?
Gonna, no, not gonna do
Why don't
it.
you just play it?
The teacher's getting
I'm not
distracted.
gonna play it.
Come on, it's good. It's a good one.
I don't know what it is, and I'm terrified to find out.
See, it's amazing. See,
It's
now you have to play
amazing.
it.
XD. She gave the XD. What? I'll look at it, but I'm not gonna play
I think
it.
I might have a guess.
I'm gonna look at it, but I'm not gonna play it. Hold on. You can probably hear this. Okay, hold on a minute.
Yeah, there it is.
Okay, and that's as much as we
Classic.
can play to skirt public
Right,
domain.
That's fair use.
Boom.
I think that's fair use.
Yeah, that's fair use. That counts. Boom. If I get flagged on GD, YouTube, content ID, I'm pretty sure we kept it short enough.
We're fighting it. Yeah, we're telling them it's fair use.
We're taking this straight to the top.
I always fight it. No, not always. Again, in the case of Voodoo Man, I realized I had to give up because we were wrong. We got it wrong. But hey, plenty of Lugosi movies to make up for the episode that we now don't have in season 1. Invisible Ghost is a fun one because, again, Voodoo Man was 1944. It was the last film he did for Monogram. Tonight's film, Invisible Ghost, 1941, first film he did for Monogram. He did 9. So in a period of 3 years, he did 9 films for this studio.
That's like 7 films a year.
And this wasn't all he was doing. He was doing a lot of stuff at Universal. And I'll talk more about that later in the show. But, he was a working man. He was always working. He was,
Turn that 9 to 5.
I mean, 9 to 5 and then 5 to 5.
9.
I mean, the man...
9 to 5 to 9.
I gotta work a double.
I think we
As an
talked
actor.
about in the White Zombie episode how he had worked... He was working days and nights. He was filming something during the day, and then I think at night he was filming White Zombie.
Putting in overtime at the movie factory.
Right, he really was. And there's an interesting White Zombie connection in this film, which let me put a break. Again, that's the fun thing about when you have an actor that you can track in the material, the subject, whatever that you're covering. You see the evolution of his career, and you can kind of go back and reference things now that we have some.
We've got some context.
We've got some context. We got a base. Well, and I think again, as we've talked about, a lot of people's bases. Ed Wood, Dracula. It's these things.
It's the peaks.
It's the peaks and the valleys because you could call his
Depending
Ed
on how
Wood
you
years
wanna
a
look at
different
it.
kind of peak, depending on how you want to look at it. Absolutely, yeah. That's a good way to put it. But yeah, so we'll see. Should be fun. As always, we bring you guys, or I shouldn't say we, I should say more appropriately, Evan brings us a drink that we pair with the night's film. So, Evan, take it away for the segment which is called
What Were You Drinking?
What Were You Drinking?
Well, tonight we are drinking. Tonight's thematic cocktail is a glass of ice water with lemon.
Ooh, isn't that so, mild?
Yeah, it's
Mild.
we're taking it easy tonight. It's just a glass of nice cold ice water. Nice
Straight
lemon
water?
slice. Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't cut it with anything?
Yeah, it smells. Well, actually, it just smells like lemon, but so,
Dangerous.
I'm joking. Tonight's cocktail is actually the Cocktail Invisible. This is a drink that I found on an Italian
Well, and that's the
website.
thing. Because it's Italian, is it... Hold on, is it... Invisibile? Is it... Would you say it like, because when you're...
You gotta say it more.
You gotta
more
say
Italian.
first. You have to say woohoo.
Yeah. So, sorry. I meant to say.
You have to use your... Yeah.
I meant to say cocktail invisibile.
Because that's the thing, right? Like... Invisible is like more Spanish,
Okay.
right? And then this is a little more complicated, right?
There's an extra syllable.
Yeah.
You gotta jump through a painting inside a big castle to really get to the bottom of how
Right.
to pronounce this.
Mhm.
So, as this recipe tells us, this is un drink extra alcolico ed esplosivo, and my Italian is a little bit rusty, but I think that means that it's really good.
My uncle is also rusty.
Hey.
Ah.
Maybe he made this one.
Yeah. He certainly inspired it.
So this is made with equal parts triple sec, white rum, vodka, and gin and simple syrup, and then a double portion of lemon juice. And I actually just did just a single part lemon juice because that was all that would fit in my mixer.
Yeah.
But
we're
I
working
don't
with some
want to.
smaller.
I don't want to. I think that may. I don't want to overload with lemon juice. We learned that in season 1. You can go too hard on that.
Yeah. Wait, which drink was that?
I think the hypnotic or the hypnotist.
There was too much lemon juice? Oh,
That's what I thought.
There was.
'Cause
You're right. I remember that
I
conversation.
measured it
now.
wrong,
Yep,
and
you're
it
right.
just burned.
Good point. Good point.
So you just mix those together, add a nice lemon slice for appearance and for some extra aroma and flavor. And then my favorite part of this recipe is it ends with ice cubes to taste.
To taste.
Yeah, so
I don't know. This needs a few more ice cubes.
yeah, I really need the flavor. I could deal with a little more ice cube flavor. So
You know what would really set this off? Just 2 more ice cubes.
Just a
All right.
couple
So,
more.
cheers to
Cheers.
Garrett, and cheers to everyone at home if you're following along.
If you're following and drinking along.
You know what?
That's
not bad.
dangerous because it
That's
just
not
tastes.
bad.
You know what it is though? I bet it's like all the ice is melted up top.
Probably.
So we
yeah.
probably got like a really watery sip, a real watered down sip. And once we start getting midway through, Evan and I are not going to be making sense because
Yeah.
we're going to hit the lemon, we're going to hit the gin.
You know, this
It's-
is it's really just, if you think about it with the like simple syrup, it's just alcoholic lemonade.
Well, and what I saw when after you sent me the recipe and I was making the graphic, I was trying to look up, other things about the cocktail. And again, a lot of people kind of refer to it's the Italian Long Island iced tea, right?
Yeah.
So because it's essentially, you're just not putting the cola.
Right,
in there.
yeah.
It's just a bunch of liquor.
Just a bunch of liquor in a
Pretty
glass.
much. Yep,
So,
in a glass.
yeah.
Served on ice for taste.
Right. Yeah. So there's 3 or 4 shots of liquor in there. So take it easy. It's pretty good. Might just stick to one tonight, but we'll see.
Yeah, we usually if it's a stronger drink, we keep it at a 1 drink minimum, but hey, sometimes we just go with the flow.
Hey, this Scream Stream, there's a 2 drink minimum. Tip your bartender.
Yep. Oh shit, I haven't been tipping. Oh fuck, I hope he didn't spit my drink.
He put it on your tab.
Oh, okay, great. Oh, delicious. I'm gonna have to go slow on that because I could just
savor it.
Yeah, I really do. I really do need to savor
Great. It feels good. Feels right for summer. It's been hot this week.
It is a good summer drink, honestly. It has been very hot the past couple weeks, and today was hot. I was outside all day. I can tell you it was hot, and yeah, this is like a good like a lemonade, and again, what's better in the summer? A nice cool glass of lemonade.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that you could buy from your neighborhood kid with their stand in front of their house.
Right. Except, when you start feeling that throat burn, which I'm starting to experience, then you realize, ooh, okay, there's maybe a little kick here. And again, once we start getting halfway, it's God knows.
And you turn around and the kid is gone.
But I think it's an aptly named drink. The idea that it's almost, invisible in the way that it tastes. Like, initially, it doesn't taste like anything. Again, like how tonight's movie doesn't,
Tonight's movie doesn't taste like anything.
Doesn't taste like anything at first.
Bela Lugosi, ice cubes to taste.
Exactly. Yep, straight up. And we'll see. I mean, Lugosi, Lugosi is pretty much the big draw here, because I can tell you that this title, Invisible Ghost, I mean, we talked about it, I think, when I introduced the film either last week or on the mini-sode, and it doesn't make any sense already, the title. And I can go ahead and tell you, just kind of warn you, that the plot is almost just as incomprehensible.
Ooh.
So I'm anxious and interested to see what you guys pick out as, like, what the fuck? Why is this happening? Because I know I only saw this movie for the first time a couple of years ago, and I loved it. I like it a lot because Lugosi's great in it, and the director does a good job of utilizing Lugosi well because the director uses the camera well and he uses lighting well. This is the case of Lugosi getting a good director, and so I like all that. But the plot, immediately the first time I saw it, I was like, wait, why is this happening? Immediately it was like, this should be a quick fix. I don't understand what's happening. And
so we're going to need some help from everyone at home to see if we can make heads or tails of this movie.
And I'm the kind of person, when I watch these old movies, I'm trying to make everything make sense. I'm trying to find ways to be like, oh no, it makes sense, it makes sense, it makes sense. So I've seen this movie so many times now, and I've been trying to figure out how the writers got to where they got to with some of the ideas, and it's just not, some of it's just nonsense. But that's part of the fun of tonight's movie, Invisible Ghost. So I'm very excited for it. You guys have seen a couple of Lugosi.
Seen a couple of ghosts.
You've seen a couple of ghosts. So what? So what do you think you would like to see out of tonight's film? Lugosi again. Lugosi in the serials that we've been watching, he's a mad scientist. A lot of time he's a mad scientist. So, what do we think?
I'm just itching for that close up, man. We're not getting that on Wednesdays.
We don't get close-ups on Wednesdays because it's a movie serial, and the budget is so cheap that they're only doing wides. And so Lugosi
They didn't have time for the close-up.
They didn't have time, even though Lugosi's acting up a storm in the wides. It's just that's all
From
they
a
have.
mile away.
He's a mile away, and he's just chewing the scenery with just beautifully as he does. And yeah, just no close-ups. So yeah, let me tell you, you're getting a lot of Lugosi close-ups tonight. You're gonna get.
I don't ever want to see the edges of his face in this movie.
Well, man, that's when there have been some, and tonight's copy that we're watching it's pretty clean, but there are some copies out there that, because it's public domain, there are like AI kind of restoring things, and there's other ways of restoring these public domain movies. I've seen.
We'll pop this into Dolly.
And even Golden Age Classics did it and theirs wasn't, they were using computers a little bit. I don't know if they were using AI, but you could see like the wrinkles in his eye. Like it just is. Yeah, I mean, some of these restorations are so detailed. It's crazy. And these close-ups in this movie, when I saw it the first time, I was like, damn, this is like really good quality. Like, what? I wasn't expecting it. So, yeah, right. Well, we could only, well, as we saw with the Casper short, it certainly isn't easy to make friends when you're a ghost. Try as you might. God knows, poor Casper.
Has there been a movie about a ghost that is haunting other ghosts, but the ghosts that are being haunted can't see the haunting ghost?
I don't think
So are you
necessarily.
saying there's, like, levels to the death? Like if you're a ghost and then you die, you become like a ghost level 2?
Right, yeah. What level of death are you on?
I prestige, dude. I prestige 2 years ago.
Oh, the others, have they already made that one?
I think not in the terms that you're saying. That sounds pretty unique, but I know, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen The Frighteners. It's a Peter Jackson movie with Michael J. Fox. It's from like 1996. I love The Frighteners. It is wild because this was right before he started getting into the Lord of the Rings stuff, and he had all these great like special effects, digital effects stuff already built up before he did Lord of the Rings. And so he does it with The Frighteners, and it is Michael J. Fox's, I'm not spoiling anything, I'll just tell you, Michael J. Fox's character can, like, he's a medium, and he can see and speak to ghosts. Of course, people don't believe him. And yeah, and it's about ghosts, but there's different levels of ghosts, and they're like...
I'm like an extra large.
Right. You got to figure out what you're, and sometimes
That's why I can't talk to ghosts.
Right. Well, hey, maybe, get a tailor and just get, and then you get your own sheet, and then you make friends with the ghosts.
Hey, I'm one of you.
I'm one of you. Hey guys, let's hang out. Like,
how do you do, fellow ghosts?
It would be so much easier to make friends if I was just covered in a sheet, 2 eye holes.
It depends on what county you're in.
Right.
All right, guys. All right.
Easy now.
Settle down.
Whoa, settle. On that note, I think that we will go ahead and hop into Invisible Ghost. Fresh, do you have it queued up?
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean? Cute. Am I supposed to be watching it with you guys?
Oh, no. You really just play off me and Evan. And it's
just
more
tell
fun.
Me what's happening.
Yeah.
Go play-by-play.
Evan will
that's our
give
job.
the play-by-play in that
an improv, yeah.
Great
I have
announcing
to pretend
style
I watched
voice
it.
Right. Oh, well, Lugosi's doing some crazy stuff right now. Whoa.
Oh, yeah, close up on his face that happens sometimes.
That close-up was crazy, bro. It's like, wow, Adam's really like getting into this movie right now.
And it's just the credits.
Right. It was just Lugosi's name. Oh, he killed it. He's doing so good.
He's crushing it.
He's crushing
it right now. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, all right, sweet. All right, well, since Fresh has it queued up, then I think without further ado, we will go ahead and get into The Invisible Ghost.
Oh wait, did you play it
Oh,
already?
sorry. Yeah. I it's not I'm not good at remembering what my intro is into the movie.
Yo, Lugosi's killing it right here.
Is that man's name Glenn?
And we've talked about the I can't remember. I looked it up. I think it's a guy.
Is that it's not his real name, sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a guy. Glenn, he did the sound for like a lot of things. Look it up. Sam Katzman. He's the one that produced all 9 of the Lugosi movies. And this guy, Joseph H. Lewis, he's the director.
Has he directed any of the other things we've watched?
No.
Moving camera.
Yeah.
Good evening, Evans. Evening, sir.
Dinner is served, Mr. Kessler.
Thank you. Good evening, my dear. You're more beautiful than ever this evening.
Who is he? Who does he think he is? Clint Eastwood?
I'm sorry.
Can't talk to an empty chair.
Mr. President.
He looks so uncomfortable in that chair.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, like the arms are just a little bit too high.
Yeah, like he could just put him on the table, but you know the director's like, no, you gotta have him on the arms.
How's Dad taking it?
All right, Miss Virginia. They're having dinner.
That was a pretty cool shot. Was that in a mirror?
Yeah. Again, this director is doing things that a lot of these movies don't do.
Interesting visuals.
Right.
I told you not to come here this evening, Ralph.
Why? Didn't you want to see me?
Well, it isn't that I didn't want to see you.
You're certainly acting strange, darling. What's all the mystery about?
Let's go into the library.
Let's go into the library, and he immediately goes the opposite direction.
Ralph!
He barged in,
After dinner,
walks wherever the fuck he wants.
Right. No boundaries, this guy.
I'd like to meet you, Ralph.
What's come over your father, Virginia? Is that why you didn't want me here tonight?
Yes.
It stopped me cold. I'm sorry if I accidentally stumbled on something you didn't
I want
want
a
me to
doorway
know.
with curtains in it.
Must seem weird to someone who's never seen it before. It happens
So
once
you
a
can
year.
just...
You always appeared perfectly
You can make a
rational.
dramatic entrance.
Yeah, you
anytime
really
you want
can.
to
Yeah.
go into the
Bust through
sitting
the
room.
curtains.
It's about my mother.
Play your walkout song and then walk into the room.
Well, it happened several years ago. My father and mother were apparently as happy as two people could be. He worshipped her.
Another man.
The usual best friend. It almost broke my father's heart. He seems reconciled, but he never forgets their wedding anniversary and celebrates it that way.
Guess he isn't the only one who resorts to make-believe, but it does give one an uncanny feeling.
It doesn't frighten me anymore. Now that you know.
I love you.
So one of the things with the production code kisses could only be like 2
You want to
or
get
3
coat, Miss
seconds long.
Kessler? Oh, yes, thank you. I was going to take a drive. It's such a beautiful night. Come along?
Yes, of course.
Sure you don't mind going?
No, I'd love it.
We'll be back in an hour, Cecile.
Yes, miss.
But an off-screen kiss can last as long as you want.
Right. Hitchcock's way around it was just to have them,
That's a nice young man.
like,
Miss Virginia.
continually just...
Peck at each other.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, Miss Virginia wouldn't bother with him.
Does she plan to marry him?
I never discussed
It's
things.
where he
out
got
loud,
his
but
idea for the birds.
If you want to stay here, I suggest
Right.
you don't be so curious.
Well, just the same, I think this is a crazy
Damn it,
house.
Evan.
Now,
No.
what about those murders? Jules, he says there's been a lot
It's like,
of them.
wouldn't
And
it
nobody's
be
ever been able to
something?
find out who did the killing.
No.
Talk too much, Jules.
But I always said that.
Excuse me, Mr. Seal. Come, I'll show you where we keep our linens.
So the actor playing the butler, his name is Clarence Muse, and again, a lot of African American actors in mainstream and in Poverty Row movies at the time, that was roles that they got, butlers or
The servant.
the sidekick or the servant. Yeah, but in this movie, he it's not a stereotypical performance. He's very calm and level-headed the whole time. He's probably the most likable character in the whole movie. And he was actually with Lugosi in White Zombie for just a little bit. He was a cab driver who takes the couple into Haiti at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And
No, he
Lugosi.
wasn't.
Why I oughta.
One of these days.
One of these days. Straight to the moon.
The water container in the kitchen looked really modern. It was kind of strange. It was like it's like a water cooler from an office.
Yeah.
Hanging out by the
They
water
had that
cooler.
kind of technology back then.
What? It just
What?
looks so modern. It looks like they just pulled it out of like
your dinner.
2001.
Please, Mrs. Kessler, I gotta go home.
Oh, I want to go home, too.
Oh, but you are home. And as soon as you feel better, I'm going to take you to your husband and daughter.
But they never write to me.
Oh, but they don't know where you are, Mrs. Kessler. Nobody knows that but me. You see, I found
I'm
you.
running away. We're running away in a car. We're going faster, faster, faster. We're gonna crash. We're gonna crash.
It is tragic.
Yeah.
It really is.
Oh, there's that mirror again.
You can't go home now. Can I?
Mrs. Kessler, please. Please eat your dinner. I've got to go home. I'll be back in the morning. Good night, Mrs. Kessler. Good night.
You're late again, Jules.
I'm sorry, Mama. But I just couldn't get away from her.
Jules, why don't you tell Mr. Kessler about his wife, that you're hiding her?
Oh, I haven't got the heart, Mama. It would kill him if he saw
There's
the way
like
she
2
is.
potatoes in there and
She'd be
just
better off if she
broth,
died with
and
that
she's
man
just
who
pouring the
found
broth.
I guess so.
Yeah.
This is a working class meal. Good
Jules.
potato
Bread and
water.
broth.
They're saving the
That's what I
potatoes
like.
to make more broth tomorrow.
Right.
Right.
That's what I like.
Oh, she wouldn't hurt nobody. She's like a child. She's still dazed from the accident, you know. Amnesia. She'll be better soon. Then I'll take her home.
You know, amnesia.
Amnesia,
Oh.
wink.
They found
Wait,
out
did you
I'm
say wink
hiding her.
and wink?
They might think I had something to do with the murder.
Jules, you must tell Mr. Kessler.
Oh, no, Mama. We must never tell anyone.
Tell me how much of any of that makes sense. His logic makes
no
no
sense.
sense.
Smoking.
No thanks, darling. I think I
Smoking.
better run along.
Good night, Ralph.
Are you smoking yet?
Oh, Virginia, shall I put your car away?
Are you smoking yet?
All right. Night.
Good evening, Miss Virginia.
Would you please put my car in the garage when you have a moment?
Yes, miss.
You know, as far as these
giant cars crack me up.
He is cavorting with the man.
Cavorting.
Cavorting. Great word. I love that word. Cavorting.
Don't try to confuse me with your big fancy words. I didn't go to college.
See, that's a good pan, yeah. Or Dolly. God damn
You
it.
ignored my letters and my telephone calls.
Fuck!
Did you think that you could get rid of me as easy as all that?
Be quiet. They'll hear you.
You bet they will. And you're going to listen to me, too. I'm not
Yeah, as
giving
far
it
as
to that
these
Kessler girl or
poverty
anybody
reflex
else.
go, the production value on this seems pretty good.
That's why I really like
Are
it.
you in love with her?
Yes.
Well, you're not marrying her, understand?
Nothing's going to stand in the way of my happiness.
And one of the other most prolific co-star, probably more prolific than Lugosi, that Bush right back there behind the guy.
She'll have to know about us sooner or later. And besides, I'll make you a good wife, Ralph.
I want that Bush's autograph.
How many famous, ghoulish-looking men have peered their faces through that bush and, you know, scared the living daylights out of us.
Guess what?
What?
I'm in love.
Ralph?
Yes, Dad.
That's
This
good.
It's so good. They love the dolly.
For you, my dear.
Oh, he hasn't asked me to marry him yet, but he will. I know he will. Good
These
night,
angles
my
are
pet.
so dynamic.
So much movement. It feels like a music video.
Can I do anything for you, sir,
Right.
before I retire?
I can't keep
What
up.
do you
It's
have?
moving too fast.
Oh, nothing, sir. I heard it when I was putting Miss Virginia's car in the garage.
Is anything on it?
Oh, the bandage.
Oh, you may have an infection.
What happened to
How's
your
that?
hand? Oh, nothing.
Just like music.
And then I'll tell you what happened to my hand.
I guess I'll eat for a while.
Good night, Evans.
Good night, sir.
How do you hurt your hand parking a car?
It's a great question. Well, that giant car,
Big
God
car.
knows. You gotta put it in gear. And
Oh
like,
damn! I ran the.
who put this razor blade in the back of the? You know.
I ran my hand over.
I ran my own hand over. Uh-oh. She's out.
I got out.
Who let you out of the basement? It's the visible ghost.
The very much visible ghost.
Yeah.
Look at the light.
Yeah, look at the lighting on his face. That
Pull
that
focus. Nice. I mean, if it sounds like we're geeking out right now, it's because you haven't seen our past episodes where there is none of this artistry.
Right, yeah.
All
Everything is static
cameras the
and
entire time.
What?
You'd kill anybody.
Did this director go on to do anything else?
Yes, he did. He did a 1950 noir called Gun Crazy, which is wild. We watched it in my cult cinema class, and it's not. I say it's wild, and most modern audiences probably wouldn't think that, but it's a lot of sexual tension for 1950, and it's all just around this gun-crazed couple. See, look at his wrinkles. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is where it looks wild. But yeah, and Joseph H. Lewis did a bunch of Poverty Row movies, did a bunch of B movies, noirs. I didn't look too much into him. I wish I would have read his wiki.
She keeps standing in the driveway. One of those boat-sized cars will run her over.
Seriously. So we got a nice little. He panned through the set, like went on the other side of it, which is like something that actually in the original Frankenstein, there's a lot of that because the director came from the stage. So I'd be interested to know if this director came from the stage.
Oh. What stage? What are you talking about?
The theater.
Yeah, but which one?
the theater. Now we're gonna get into a who's on first bit.
Well, that's what I'm asking you.
Okay, we need you to act like you're in a trance. Okay. Let's just blast him with light, slack him with makeup.
Why, Mr. Kistler.
And do what to him with makeup?
Slack.
Schlack.
Shellac.
He's really schlacked up right now. Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
It's about to go down. Oh god.
Huh?
Wait, why is she scared? How does she know to be scared? He hasn't done anything.
I mean, look at those eyes, man. Wouldn't you be scared?
Yeah, but his eyes always, like, if you knew him, his eyes always look like that.
So wait, what is their relation?
That was the maid.
Oh, okay.
Cecile?
A pokey hoe? No. No.
Catch himself a pokey.
If it's exercise you want, there's plenty of it in the kitchen. Cecile!
What does that mean?
It means you gotta cook up eggs.
Get your ass out the bed.
That's not how you sleep.
You should. There's actually a great joke in a 1933 movie that we'll see on the stream where there's a dead body and the comic relief is like, "You shouldn't lay down like that." It's pretty dumb, but
something terrible has happened.
That's funny, I mean, especially for the time.
Yeah, I didn't think about it till seeing it now and Evan making that joke. Where it's like, oh, or who? I don't know who made that joke, but see, I'm already. This drink is already doing it.
The jacket's airproof. Can't breathe through that.
Nope, not that silk, dude. Impenetrable.
It doesn't breathe well.
Not breathable. Not silk is not a breathable fabric. Not known to be a breathable fabric.
Oh my god, this fucking guy, dude, I love it.
To find out who killed Cecile, we have the one who committed all the other murders.
That's easier said
What
than done.
other murders?
There's never been
Yeah, what?
fingerprints, to say nothing of motives. What gets me, Mr. Kessler, is why you
Giant
refuse
cigar.
to move
It's
on.
easier said than done, see?
Yeah, it's a good thing they called in Al Capone.
About a house where anything can happen and usually does.
It's a Tommy gun under his
You're just getting ash all over the carpet, okay? Like, this is not cool. All right, guys.
Somebody's got to clean that
I
up.
went home early. You see, I live with my wife.
All right.
I had to get home early. You see, I live with my wife. How many times have you said that, Evan?
Yeah, that's how I get out of work.
The name startled me. I'm practically engaged to a Ralph.
Did you notice anything unusual last night, Evans?
Uh-oh.
Well,
That's a good
maybe
aim.
I better not say. Let's have it, Evans. When I was putting the roaster in the garage, I saw Cecile talk to Mr. Dixon. That's Miss Virginia's Ralph. Go on. I didn't mean to listen, but they were talking loud. Then I heard him say that he never loved her. She said she wasn't going to let him marry anyone else. That made him real mad. And said nothing was going to stand between him and his happiness. Not even her.
What a change in quality.
Got her. I really hope that wasn't where I scheduled the break. I scheduled it at a Fade to Black. Wait, do you know, Fresh?
A couple of years.
Yeah, it's 2305.
Okay, let me know, because I can't see it, so.
Fell in love for the first
It's supposed to be, I think, around the 1
I love you too, Ralph.
Surely you can account for
hour
your
mark of
activities
the
from the
stream.
time you left our house.
The next
until
3
the
to
next
4 to
morning.
5 minutes.
No, Mr. Kessler. I had a lot to think about. I took a long ride into the country, didn't stop anywhere, and didn't see a soul I knew.
It's most unfortunate.
Likely story.
All I know is that I didn't kill her.
There isn't any doubt about that in our minds. Don't worry, son. We do everything we possibly can. Order! Order in the courtroom. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Moving fast.
I do.
Moving real fast.
Yes, I managed the apartments where Ralph Dixon lived. Miss Mannix came there often. As a matter of fact, I thought they were married.
Oh shit! Her boyfriend been
home early.
sleeping with this girl,
Help my wife with
and
the
this
house.
is the 40s.
The coroner's testimony should convince you that the defendant had sufficient reason for wanting to be rid of the victim.
It's the truth. The city would let nothing stand in the way of his happiness. Not even her.
So is it like a normal thing back then for married people to not live together?
No, if you're married, that's it. And that's the thing. The girl was like in a movie back in 1940. The idea of like saying that this person sleeps around. You have to figure out how to communicate that without saying this person sleeps around. So it's basically what they did here in a good way.
Realize he couldn't possibly be a murderer.
But I think that's.
I'm sorry.
I can't spoil it. I was about to spoil
facts
it.
in the case, and unless you can present some new evidence, there's nothing I can do.
The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want.
He can't do it anyway. Double jeopardy, guys.
Sorry. Hey, somebody's gotta go to jail for this. So.
Well, and that's what I'm gonna say. You know why? Oh, he's not even in jail. You know what's about to happen.
It looks like he's about to die.
Righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk
He's been found guilty of murdering Cecile, who he was found to be in not an adulterous relationship, but a out of wedlock relationship, which was very frowned upon. So I think that's why what is about to happen is about to happen. Because in the code says crime must pay, and I think they consider sex out of wedlock a crime back then. It wasn't an actual crime, but the code considered it a crime.
That's so funny.
It's deserving of being killed. It's that bad.
I see. It's all over.
Sheesh.
Was that it, Fresh?
Yep.
All right.
Sorry, I was lagging.
So no, you're good. You're good. Thank you. So that's gonna take us to the first break. I didn't look at the breaks before the show started, so I have no clue where they're at. Her dad does suck because but okay. I don't know if it's clear, but walking around like this, that he's in a some sort of trance state. Because one thing that I don't know if you guys have noticed about it in Lugosi's portrayal of this. He's a father, he's a doctor. When he's not under this, excuses, right? But when he's not under the spell of this trance, I mean, we've seen him be nothing but a kindly, friendly doctor, right? He's not like a mad scientist bent out for revenge. He's not trying to make some wild.
I think this is a good artistic metaphor for alcoholism.
Oh yeah. How
he's
so?
A really, really nice, sweet person when he's not under the trance.
Good point. Could be.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense, actually. I mean, again, it's this whole idea that Lugosi, if you've seen as much. This is really the first time that I've watched it and watched his stuff at the beginning. the first act as we've watched it through and been like, oh, okay, like he's just a father. He's just a kindly doctor. He's not crazy. He's not, except when he gets in this state, right? So this movie is, yes, well, I mean, Al Bundy,
little known fact,
very much, I think, look, man, I can't even, Ted Bundy, Al Bundy, what are you gonna do? They're
very similar type people,
Right. And again, it's that whole idea of what, okay, because that's the thing. Horror back in the day, what are you afraid of? Universal has all these monsters, right? But like, what's really scary?
The American justice system.
The American justice system.
Oh, you were gonna say the American diet.
But also just a normal guy who is also has these murderous impulses, i.e. Ted Bundy, i.e. maybe Al Bundy.
We don't know.
We don't know. They didn't cover that. Maybe in the spin-off, it'll be post after the news came out that Al Bundy was actually killing people the whole time that the show was going on. And, how does the family, I'm probably not married anymore after that. You still got the children, though, so you got to deal with that. But
the new spin-off, Divorced with Shared Custody.
Because I am a murderer.
What a lengthy title.
Yeah, that's the new. They said this is all the rage. We got to make the title really long.
It's a gritty drama.
So we get audience investment. Gritty as hell. And I mean, but again, it's that idea that what we're watching tonight is almost, it's a psychological horror film. It's almost like a threat. That idea that it's a real person. He's under some kind of trance-like state, and the title's Invisible Ghost. But to what extent is there paranormal stuff here? I don't really know for sure. And so it's almost just like, all right, this guy who seems like a normal guy goes in this trance state and just kills people. That's real. Universal wasn't doing that. It's all like, I'm going to get my worst enemies gathered in a house, and I'm going to kill them one by one, or I'm a mad scientist making a monster, and, or I'm Dracula, whatever.
Yeah,
okay,
really
and again, the other thing about, like, this movie, we are in this movie was 1941. Lugosi was just at the beginning of his mid-career renaissance. He had done some big roles for Universal and was getting back out there. But the problem was Universal never gave a shit about Lugosi, so they didn't use him properly. So Lugosi ended up always getting these thankless roles. If you saw the second trailer we showed in the pre-roll for The Black Cat, he's playing a gardener. In a lot of movies, so the first trailer we're going to see is for a movie called Night Monster.
And he's just an extra in that one.
He's a butler. He is, I'm going to go ahead and spoil it for you. There's nothing, he's played like, oh, is he the one doing it? Is he the sinister guy? Is he bad? He's just a butler. There's nothing.
The butler didn't do it.
And I can't tell you how many times that happened to Lugosi. I can name you at least I could name you 4 movies right now off the top of my head where that happens. It's just sad because, he was capable of much more. He's, again, tonight's film, that's why Poverty Row kind of came at the right time for him, because it gave him the opportunity to get a lead role. Again, in the 30s, Karloff kind of ended up outshining him. And then when he got a renaissance in the 40s at Universal, instead of them turning to Lugosi, who'd they go to? Lon Chaney Jr., who we haven't really talked about on the show. We will see a couple of his movies. His dad, Lon Chaney Sr., the man of 1,000 faces, silent movie actor, is Phantom of the Opera, did all these famous things. He died. He did one sound movie, and then he died. And then his son eventually broke into movies, and Universal made him use the name Lon Chaney Jr., which he hated. He didn't want to be Lon Chaney Jr., but he was anyway.
Wait, so was his name not actually Lon Chaney?
So it was Creighton Chaney.
Oh.
And he originally was billed as Creighton Chaney, but the studio said Lon Chaney Jr., and then at the end of his life, it was just Lon Chaney. And he was Universal's top horror star in the 40s. He did Frankenstein, Monster, blah, blah, blah. See, Frankenstein's Monster. Evan's been very good about that. Lon Chaney. Yep, that's
Lon Chaney.
Lon Chaney. Yeah, we should call him that. We should call him, because we're gonna have to watch Phantom of the Opera at some point. And again, that's a long silent movie that I
got something to do that day.
I don't. I like those less than the German expression. The German expressionist stuff is way more interesting. Phantom of the Opera is literally only good for like a couple scenes where Lon Chaney Sr. is doing stuff, but that's the end of the movie really. So
when did we get to Dick Cheney?
So once you get to the 70s and more people are getting shot in the face, that's when Lon Chaney had died in 1968, and then Dick Cheney came on the scene, shot a couple people in the face, then went into politics, and then later on he's like, I want to do it again.
He just made a whole career.
He's like, I want to shoot another guy in the face. I loved in my early career when I got to do that.
This is my calling.
I really want to revisit it. And so we'll get to Dick Cheney eventually, and we'll get to Lon Chaney Jr. and Lon Chaney Sr. eventually. But again, it's just the idea that Lugosi kind of got shut out in favor of other people for most of his career. In the 30s, it was Karloff. In the 40s, it was Chaney Jr. And so Lugosi got the chance to shine in Poverty Row movies. So before he did tonight's film, Invisible Ghost, in 1940 he did The Devil Bat, which is the second trailer that we'll see, and he gets to play a mad scientist. He's the lead role. He's doing a bunch of stuff. It's fun. It's a fun movie, and it's way more than Universal ever gave him to do. So you'll see the trailer for Night Monster, where you'll see Lugosi as Butler, and he's and then you'll see the second trailer where it's all Lugosi, and they're billing Lugosi top billed, and he's getting his due. He deserves it. So we're going to get into these two trailers, and when we come back, we're going to get into the exciting middle of Invisible Ghost.
There's a lot of funny business going on out here that I think you ought to look into before it's too late. What? Well, this is Millie out at... I think you know who killed those doctors. You've got to tell us in order to prevent other deaths.
I can't. I can't do that.
Look. Blood.
Honor and obey, until death do you part.
I do. Oh!
Shall I telephone for the ambulance?
No. The undertaker. She's dead.
Mysterious murder strikes at the altar, and the maniac monster creeps from his domicile of death to claim the lifeless form of his latest bride. Police baffled, a public in terror, but nothing can stop this fiend on his hideous trail except a girl reporter
who wages a brave, foolhardy fight against the blackest art this side of the grave.
Why have you a mausoleum in the basement? All those dead girls and that horrible dead creature.
My dear, you must have had a bad dream.
Now look, Professor, this was no dream. You wanted to see me, Reverend?
And we are back. So, as you can see, I was wrong about the second trailer. It was not the Devil Bat. It was The Corpse Vanishes, which is the second movie that Lugosi did for Monogram, which they produced tonight's film. Tonight's film was the first Monogram film that he did, and I believe the second one was The Corpse Vanishes.
You know, it's not every day that you get a title that's just a complete sentence.
Yeah, no, it really isn't. It's more reserved for these old school films, and you know, the fun thing about it is that I guess in that case the title does check out. You know, tonight's film, the title's questionable, but you know, I can say in The Corpse Vanishes that corpses do vanish. So
yeah, you know what happens right then and there. You don't need a synopsis.
You get again, there's a lot of movies on this stream. The title says it all, and it speaks for itself. And The Corpse Vanishes definitely does. It's a fun movie. I've only seen it a couple times. I've seen tonight's film, Invisible Ghost, way more. We are about to get into the exciting middle of Invisible Ghost from 1941. So far, we've seen Lugosi kill a chick. That was pretty fucking wild. And again,
and
the
then
beauty
the state ostensibly killed a guy.
Right. The state definitely is guilty of killing an innocent man, which not the first time that's happened. And we basically, what we have here is the case of Lugosi getting a really good director who knows how to use Lugosi and also knows how to use the camera and use lighting and gets something, you know, uses it to great effect. And so
he's really got a good directorial eye.
Yeah, Joseph H. Lewis really knew what he was doing, and you know, no, I haven't seen any other of the Monogram films that Lugosi did look as good as this does, and I think it has to do with the attention and the care that Joseph H. Lewis was putting into it, because most of the time you're getting somebody that's just kind of trying to slap it together, trying to get it done.
Do you know anything about the budget on this one? Is it comparable to the others?
So I didn't have that figure. It's definitely comparable to the other ones. I know that the schedule is certainly comparable, but it would be good to know those figures to see if the artistry that we're seeing in the camera movements and the lighting is reflected in the budget. Is the budget higher?
Yeah.
And is it reflected in the schedule? Was the schedule longer? You would think to do those complicated camera moves that
it would take a little bit
take longer. And so, but in the book, which again, my source, Poverty Row Horrors, which I have right here, it doesn't. I didn't see anything in the Invisible Ghost chapter about budget or the length of the shooting schedule, which most of the other films chapters cover that. So
we could probably get a copy with the Freedom of Information Act.
Right.
request.
We'll source that. We'll source the Freedom of Information Act, and it's all in file. They'll pull out the file. We'll get those data points, and then we'll bring them back to you guys for further analysis, so that we can corroborate
That's what
the
we're here for.
findings. Right.
We'll conduct an investigation and
Right. Full investigation, full audit. We're going to audit the votes. Oh, wait, sorry. I'm going off on the wrong tangent. Okay. So we are going to get into the exciting middle of Invisible Ghost. Evan is... I know he's mixing me up another drink because I requested it. I don't know that he'll have another one.
I've got another one.
Okay, hell
Mixing up the medicine.
It's a good drink.
It really is. I was actually surprised. I was prepared to be underwhelmed tonight, and
really,
I think this is pretty good.
I thought we were doing the other one. I had my goat milk and everything ready to go.
Well, yeah,
you made
so
your,
that's
clove and cardamom tea.
You had to get that pouch or whatever it was. I don't know. They were talking to me about it last night, and it sounded wild. And not a cocktail I would drink, but it's more like a hot punch or something.
Yeah.
With goat's milk. Oof.
Yeah. So for everyone at home who doesn't understand what we're referencing, there was a runner-up cocktail that was considered for tonight called the Invisible Goat, which I would have loved to make because the title is very on point for this movie. But the drink, the recipe has like 3 subsections where you have to first make like a tea, and then you have to use the tea to make punch, and then you use the punch to make a cocktail. And ain't nobody got time for that.
Complicated for me.
It's a drink that takes like 24 hours to make, so...
Yeah, we didn't have 2 weeks to get the materials and then make it.
Right. So, yeah, once we get that, once we get that Scream Stream money going...
Yes,
and,
the revenue flowing, then we'll be good to go. We'll have
I can make
really
as complicated
drinks.
a drink as we need.
Right.
For now,
Evan,
we're keeping it simple.
Man, I know that our ice is melted, but how am I going to taste this drink without more ice, dude?
Yeah,
No, I'm just...
It's not gonna taste the same.
It's not. No, it's not. It's gonna be worse. No, it'll be great. I love it. So, we're gonna get back into Invisible Ghost. Fresh, if you are queued up.
I am ready.
All right, then here we go. I love that angle.
Like this.
Whoa.
My name is Dixon.
Yes. Of course.
I'd like to see Mr. Kessler.
He's in there.
Do we know this guy?
Yeah, why?
Does he look familiar? Does he look familiar?
I hope I'm not intruding.
He looks like every white guy from the 40s.
Come.
Yeah, he looks like he's an extra in Mafia too.
Come in. I've been in South America. I flew here at once. However, I'm afraid
He's the twin brother of the guy who just got killed.
Oh.
And it's the same actor. So it's...
Okay.
He looks exactly the same as the guy who just got killed.
I didn't want to say that he looks like the other guy, but...
But yeah. Because you're like, it's just every white guy looks the same back then. You racist.
I would like to talk to you.
Really running low on actors for this production, huh? Like, his twin brother comes over.
It's like, oh, I wanted to do fraternal twins. You mean we can only do identical? Oh, sucks. I hate identical twins.
Yeah, they're the worst.
I do, yeah.
Is
Fraternal twins for the win.
Is this guy gonna go like into a fugue state because he thinks he's seen a ghost now?
I hope not. What did he just say? Wasn't he? He was like,
one of the very best.
Like,
He's handled all of Dad's legal affairs for years.
I'm seeing ghosts.
Mr. Dixon will have coffee with us.
Oh, I'm Ralph Dixon's brother.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
But you do look like...
Oh, throw those hands up. Oh. Look at that. Look at this.
I realize
That's
how
a cool
incriminating
shot.
circumstantial evidence can be, but it's never brought home to me like this before.
We did everything we possibly could.
I don't think we've seen anything like this so far.
We really haven't.
Yes,
Again,
he told me in his last letter.
if we appreciate nothing, we appreciate the artistry.
Good framing.
Also, I'm gonna call out Fresh right now, and the fact that I will need your help. That's finding out where the next break is.
I got you.
I have crossed us all into bedroom, but I don't
I
know
got the
where
timestamp. I'll let you know.
Hell yeah.
Sure, I'm not troubling you. No, not at all.
I'm making Fresh do extra work tonight. Get it.
Yeah, I'm really.
Gotta earn that paycheck tonight.
It's flextra work.
Oh, Frextra work.
Gotta put my Air Force Ones on for this.
Burn, burn, burn.
Paul! Yes? I saw you to your room. Oh, thank you.
Oh, I almost forgot. I must see Evan go.
It's like Ralph was never gone. Let's keep this guy here.
Yeah.
Come on.
We'll just pick.
You're with us now. You're gonna live with us.
We'll pick right up where me and your brother left off.
So he had gotten to third base. So I don't know, like, if you want to go high. I don't know. What do you think? You take the lead.
Well, I guess I'll turn in. I haven't had much sleep the
Imagine.
last couple of nights. Good night. Good night, Sam.
God, everyone had to be hot as fuck back then. Everyone wears like
I
17
couldn't
layers.
stand all those. A tie and the top button all the time. I hate the top button. The top button sucks.
Fuck this movie.
Fuck the top button. Evan, I see. You were making a joke about ice to taste, but that's no joke. You need ice in this drink because otherwise it's just liquor and lemon juice.
It is true, yeah. You
And
actually
it's
need some ice.
hard to get down your gullet.
Your mother's dead. She loved morphine.
I have not seen that in so long. I love that the doctor scenes in Frankenstein's Monster Frankenstein. She really, what is it? She really did. It's something like. She did.
After all, I didn't become a doctor to play God.
Play God. Fresh, if you haven't seen Frankenstein's Monsters Frankenstein on Netflix.
What the fuck?
Starring TV's David Harbour.
TV's David Harbour, who most people would know right now from Stranger Things Season 4. It's
not stupid.
It's so
amazing.
stupid. Now I want to watch it.
You, S-Sync, as a fan of books and literature, this comes from the classic tradition of the beginnings of like science fiction, really, but you know, traditions of horror, gothic horror. And yes, as such,
and that's how I got into Juilliard.
I love it. Fresh. It's on Netflix. Check it out.
Everybody at home, please check it out.
I'm watching it right now.
Can you give us play-by-play?
Uh-oh.
Ah! That silk is not breathable.
So, earlier, was it implied that the boyfriend wasn't the first person that he had killed this way?
Yes, it was implied that. It was implied that there had been more murders, and I guess when the wife he wasn't hearing her, but she said, "You'd kill anybody. Like you kill me, you kill anybody." So I guess she's implying that she knew that he has done something like this before. Don't touch anything.
That's okay. They didn't know about DNA back then.
Yeah, this is the This is the 50s. They're like,
Hey,
yeah,
man, shh, you can
we
be
have a
in-
hunch he did it.
it can be June 2022 and you can still accidentally tamper with a crime scene, as I have had experience with in the past week.
What? Yeah, have you?
We moved stuff. We were trying to clean up and fix things,
Right.
and of course, then like
Accidentally.
2 minutes after doing that, we were like, "Oh, we should."
Oh, this is a crime scene. We shouldn't be touching it.
Shouldn't be touching anything. We can't do anything, but we had already done a couple things.
Strangled.
Now, how are the boys in blue ever gonna catch the crook?
About 3 years, I guess. Ever say anything to you about having
He
any
ashes
enemies?
his cigar into his mouth.
The cops that I dealt with in real life the other day will be about as effective as this cop with a cigar in his mouth. It's probably the same cigar from the other day. He loves his uniform. In this case, it's a trench coat, a hat, a fedora, and a cigar. And that's the uniform.
He's trying to quit smoking. He just keeps it in his
But
mouth.
it's part of
for
the uniform. Yeah, so you have to
It's
have
just
it.
It's just
an
for the
oral
oral
pacification
fixation.
kind of thing.
Right. Well, it's a cigar, but the wrap is it's been soaked in codeine. So what he's really doing,
Yeah,
he's burning down.
How did this happen?
Exactly.
What we'd like to find out.
He was strangled, Paul. Would you mind if we go into the library?
No, that's all right.
He was strangled.
he said library, and I swear, or I swore for a second he was going to say laboratory.
He slipped up. He slipped up.
It's the wrong movie, Bella.
Hey.
He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I was filming that this morning.
Well, I guess that's that. No clues, no fingerprints, no motive.
I love it. I love that.
If a man was choked to death, there would be imprints on his throat.
There weren't any on the Mannix girl.
And they were killed the same way. Is that right?
That doesn't prove a thing, Dixon. All the others got it. And
I
all
love
went
how
the
it's
same
this
way.
fucking silk jacket. Again,
Yeah, what is the thread count on this jacket?
not a breathable fabric,
others?
despite what you might have heard.
Others have been killed here.
Why in the world do you stay in this place?
We can't leave.
Fair point.
Yeah, but he reported it. He wouldn't have self-reported like that.
If he
I
did,
played enough Among Us to know that that's not what you do.
It's not a winning strat.
Yeah.
Your luggage, sir.
Yeah, when you're playing with the Pro League, you don't self-report like that.
I'm MLG Among Us.
MLG Among Us.
God damn it.
Oh, Lieutenant. Yeah? I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Uh-huh. That'll be a change anyhow. What's bothering you?
As a rule, I'm not a very curious person, but,
I was beginning to get you, huh?
in a way, yes. What about these other murders?
Yeah, why is anybody
Well, quite a
staying
lot of them,
here?
Dixon. Some of the best brains in the department have tried to solve them. They always run up against a stone wall.
Were the other murders brought out in my brother's trial?
Like, yeah, half a dozen people have
That was a
died
cut and
here,
dried
but,
case.
you know, it's a nice
And the
house.
police closed the house.
Oh, he tried to, but Mr. Kessler took it to court. Carries a
Pays
lot of weight
good.
around here. Does a
God
lot of
damn
good,
it.
too.
You think he'd want to leave?
I guess he's waiting for his wife to come back. She left him several years ago. An awful scandal at the time. Front-page stuff and all
Awful. Awful. It was awful.
Poor devil. He didn't have a chance.
See, that's the thing, when
Well, I
Lugosi's
guess I'm
not
going
being
along.
murderous, he's
that. Well, I
really,
met you, Dixon.
you know, he thinks he's cool. He's like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm straight.
You know,
And
Mr.
like,
Kessler, I
nope.
have a feeling that somehow or other
He
these
is
mysterious
murdered.
murders are going to be cleared up, and quickly, too.
Nothing would please me more.
Is that a Bob Ross on the right? Nice landscape.
I rarely talk about her, but I think about her constantly.
She has eyes like Virginia.
Her hair, her skin, they were the loveliest I've ever seen.
Her hair, her
I hope you have
skin,
the pleasure
her
of meeting
teeth,
She'll
her
be back
follicles. I could go on.
Paul was admiring your mother's picture.
Father's a sentimentalist.
He has every right to be.
I'll get it. Hello? Yes? Just a moment, please. It's for you, Dad.
Thank you. Yes? Yes, I guess I can. Yes. Oh, in about 20 minutes, I'd say? Surely. Goodbye. I'll see you children later.
I mean, one thing that I read in the source book tonight that they said that I would agree with is Lugosi isn't hamming it up in his performance as the normal, you know, guy when he's not under the trance. He's very. It's true. He's much more like in the Devil Bat. Like when he says goodbye on the phone, he's like, just now he's like goodbye. On the Devil Bat, he's like goodbye.
Yeah, he's
and
talking like a person.
He's
and not
like
Count
he's
Dracula.
being really cheery, and then he hangs up the phone, and then he gets like a snarl face. And it's like, yep, I've been there. That's a GIF. We gotta make that. God damn it! What is it? Is it GIF? Is it GIF? I never get it.
Who
right.
knows? I think it's Jife.
It's Jive. Can we? I'm gonna do it fresh.
right,
We're
yeah.
gonna call it Jive from now on. Even though
animated
Fresh
Jive.
would know what it is, but now you should tell that to all the people at work.
Yeah.
You should just don't tell them. Just when you refer to it, start calling it Jive.
Well, that's what I say, just to throw everybody off.
Right. Have you seen?
I think
this?
the G is silent.
Have you seen this Wild Ice?
I think it's
dude?
HIF.
If.
If.
The G is silent.
Mrs. Mason. You'd better take her out, Mr. Kirby.
The G and the F are silent.
He's alive.
Eh,
I saw him.
Have you guys seen this?
Oh, he survived.
You'll be all right, Mrs. Mason. Steady now.
Oh.
Get him out of here.
This man
Well,
could,
his head definitely moved very quickly
this
between
man could
shots
breathe
there.
through a cloth jacket.
Turns out he could breathe through the unbreathable. Meet the man who could breathe through the unbreathable fabric.
Come one, come all, step right up.
Like, a big part of my fact sheet tonight is about the gimmicks for this movie that they did, which are wild.
What gimmicks?
I guess I can start going into it now.
If you want to save them for later.
Okay,
you can.
no, this is from the book. I just want to make sure I'm not talking during anything too important.
Oh, this guy knows.
Advise theater owners to dress a tall, well-built man in black, a black suit, a black hat, a black shoes, gloves, and mask. Arm him with a coil of rope as well as either a dagger or a proper revolver, and send him out to wander the streets and stare down passers-by.
I don't
What?
like to bring up the subject, Mr. Kessler.
How
These
wild.
That's
They ever
terrifying.
happen in the daytime.
Can you imagine if somebody did, like, a
If-
modern
If you
studio
really,
did that?
if you get a really smart ballyhooer, he can really do a job. Tapping unsuspecting people on the back, looking into stores, parked cars, etc. That's from the press book.
So
Yeah, you can't do that now. You just get shot.
I want you to go out and stalk some people, and this will promote our movie.
Yeah, the book was like
And then
they're-
give him a flyer for the movie when you're
The
done
book was
scaring
like they are skirting the lines of legality here.
Everything's gone wrong today. Now I burned the roast.
Oh, don't get so flustered. You'll be all right.
You can do that, but you can't show someone kissing more than 3 seconds.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Here it is. Right in front of you.
Thanks.
So
I like it here.
they had a
It's
couple
nice.
other gimmicks that
Everything's
actually
quiet
got
and
kind of
peaceful, right?
recycled in a way. I don't know if the person who did them later was aware of these, but
There's nothing in that bowl.
no, there's
But you
not.
don't know.
What there is, but it's just no. You're right. There's nothing. It's just a shadow. The shadow got me.
Here's your pepper salt.
Mm,
You still have a couple of moves, Mr. Kessler.
The way no one's ever said it ever.
pepper
Your
salt.
father just got himself into a
Here's your
bad
pepper and salt.
You're going to be strong. It's your game, boss.
Want to play another?
It just sounded like somebody was back there shaking a panel.
Hey, check out this sheet metal I found.
Stop it, they're filming right now.
She just screamed. She feels that her work is unsatisfactory.
I'm sorry, Garrett, what was the other gimmick they were doing?
Why, that's
So they did a nerve tester, and it was a box and two hand panels and a dumb monitor, and it would shock you. It had a
Oh, glad to have your company.
That's the test.
it had a reduced regular current, and it it had a sign on the box that said, "Test your nerves before seeing invisible ghosts. Don't take a chance. If you can't stand a test like this, imagine what'll happen when you get a real shock from the most terrifying show of the season."
Oh my god. They just did anything back then.
They really got away with a lot.
Mr. Kessler.
Ballyhoo. That's what it is. You do whatever you want. You just get the word out.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Get your pausing finger ready.
Good night, Mr. Kessler.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you, Fresh.
Man.
There?
Is that it?
Yep.
That looks like it.
That was it. The fade into the bedroom. Yes. Okay. So we are at the second break for Invisible Ghost. And so far, I mean, so we had a twin brother come back into the picture, which was wild, because we had to explain that that was not a different white man, but in fact the same white man who is playing a twin brothers. It's
Sorry,
one guy.
I can't tell white people
It's
apart.
all right, Evan. You know, I mean, hey.
Wow.
All white people look alike to Evan. I mean, Evan looks at me and this mannequin head beside him, and he looks over at the mannequin head and says, "Okay, Garrett, so like, when are we getting to the break?" And I said, "Evan, I'm over here." And so, you know, Evan's just not very good with things like that. But I set him straight. So, so the wild gimmicks, that we were talking about right before we got to break. There's one more. If you guys are interested,
please, I gotta know.
So, they wanted you to get a skeleton from like a doctor's office or a hospital or a medical school or a high school that had like a skeleton. They told local theater owners, get a skeleton from those guys, suspend it on fine piano wire, and swing it across the theater in between features. So listen. So those both sound wild, and I didn't know that those were a thing, and that is wild for 1940. But in 1958 and 1959, there was a filmmaker called William Castle who did two movies that basically had the exact same gimmicks, and he was known for trying to attach gimmicks to every horror movie that he did. So he did House on Haunted Hill, which we will see on this show. And the gimmick was he sent out an inflatable skeleton to theaters to float over the audience on fine piano wire during the climax of the film, whenever a skeleton is on the screen on wire going out and across. So it was like a 3D effect. And that was called Emergo. And I guess that came second, Emergo. Before that, there was Percepto, which was for a movie called The Tingler, which we won't see on the show, I don't think. Even though if you go to the Internet Archive, which has a public domain collection, you can find The Tingler there, but I don't think it's public domain. There is... The gimmick they did for The Tingler was he had theater owners install buzzers in certain theater seats, so that during the parts where, so there's a part in the movie where the monster, the Tingler, it's like a thing that crawls up your leg and it burrows into your skin and it lives on your spine. There's a bit where it gets loose in a movie theater, and so the way they do it in like a POV where Vincent Price is the actor, the lead in the movie, and he's in a movie theater where the Tingler gets loose, and they show like the movie screen, and then the screen goes black, and you hear Vincent Price's voice, and he's like, "The Tingler is loose in the theater. If you, the way that you defeated the Tingler was you screamed. If you screamed, it would make the Tingler dissipate." And so he's like, "Scream, scream for your lives!" And so they would set the buzzers off when the people were in the seats, so people would like get a little shock under their seats, and it was a whole complicated thing.
That's actually pretty good. I actually kind of like that one.
Yeah, and it was he had a lot of good things like that. He did a lot of great gimmicks, and with that one in particular, he the whole scream for your lives thing, he was very much drawing from like the spook show tradition of like, there was a thing called the blackout, which you have all these kids in the theater, you're doing a live stage show, and then you black it out, like you turn out all the lights, and you have people in monster costumes running around grabbing people, and it's just chaos. And so I think they were definitely drawn from that.
You had to get a lot more creative back in the day, it seems like. I guess when you didn't just have, ads everywhere.
But that's what I hate. Why aren't we doing this now?
Because we just have ads everywhere.
We could do gimmicks now and it would be even better.
If we did gimmicks now, well, and again, modern examples of gimmicks. Do you guys remember the thing about the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie in like 2005 or 6 or 7, where they thought there was some terrorist incident going on in Atlanta or on a highway. There was something, and it turned out to just be a promotional thing for the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. But it got...
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. It was like a whole thing.
amazing.
Like, I remember watching it on the news. They like thought there was something going down, and then it was like, oh no, it's just a promotional stunt for the Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie. And that is the essence of ballyhoo, of promotion, of exploitation. You find ways to shock people. So we are going to get into the break. We've got 2 Lugosi trailers. Again, he made 9 movies for Monogram. We have seen the first one, Invisible Ghost. We're watching it tonight. We have seen, some of us have seen the last one, Voodoo Man, but you won't find it on our YouTube page because it's not public domain, even though we watched it in season 1. But he made 9 films, and it wasn't all horror. So the trailers that we're going to see are from some of those 9 films, and they show the different things that Lugosi was doing. So we're going to see a trailer for a movie called Black Dragons, which is like an espionage thriller, where he's actually like a good guy. And I haven't seen that movie, but it's not a horror movie, but the trailer bills it like it's a horror movie. That might come second. There's another trailer, I think it's called Spooks on the Loose.
Nice.
And yeah, it's a little, the word spooks is just, I always feel uncomfortable saying it.
Right, there's some...
but yeah, some connotations
word
there.
with some baggage.
But Spooks on the Loose is the movie... I think if Lugosi did tonight's film, Invisible Ghost, and he did the trailer we saw earlier, Corpse Vanishes, I think actually Spooks Run Wild or Spooks on the Loose, whatever it is, came before Corpse Vanishes, or The Corpse Vanishes. And I feel like I actually threw a third trailer in here tonight. Can't remember what it is, so that'll be a surprise.
Surprise trailer.
It's either 2 or 3. Can't really remember, but it's just to get a sense of the range that Lugosi got from doing these movies that were cheaper. He wasn't getting paid as much, but Universal was making him play butlers and bit parts that were only like 10 minutes long, and so here he got to shine. So we're going to see some trailers from the Monogram 9, and when we come back, we're going to get into the exciting conclusion of Invisible Ghost.
Let's fucking go, dude.
The City of the Dead.
Hey, you! What are you doing here?
Now you see him. Now you don't. Hold your breath and save your laughs when Bela Lugosi, that master of horror, meets those gloom-busting East Side kids. Even a respectable ghost gets a nervous breakdown.
It says here that in the night he prowls about seeking new victims, and in the daytime he sleeps in a coffin.
Well, let's wait till daytime, huh?
We ain't waiting for nothing. We're going right now. Go ahead, open it. Oh, you open it. Maybe it ain't supposed to be open till Christmas.
Who are you? You don't remember me. But 20 years ago in this very house, you scared the health out of me. No!
Suicide or murder in the shadow of a nation's capital. The screen's master of horror, Bela Lugosi, has the answer to this mysterious death. Lugosi as the madman on a mission of vengeance. Vengeance against 6 men who plot the destruction of a country at war.
You've turned weakling, Van Dyke. We can't afford to take any chances with you.
You were both very accommodating, Mr. Ryder. Thank you. When a young woman's nerves commenced to give way, it is time she sought refuge in a strong man's arms.
I just ran into yours.
Mine might be dangerous.
Alice, you were right. There was a body in the cellar last night.
You know that?
I'm positive of it. Only there were 2 bodies.
At last we meet. And then, what shall I call you? Saki?
The trailer after that, and I just came back from the break. I said, fuck it.
It's okay, we're
I
ready.
said, fuck it, we're coming back, and you couldn't
We're
hear what
coming
I
in hot.
just said for the first couple seconds because I was still muted. But,
welcome back to the exciting conclusion.
The exciting conclusion of Invisible Ghost. And so we just saw some Lugosi trailers again. Was it Spooks on the Loose?
It was Spooks Run Wild.
Spooks Run Wild, yeah.
And it looks like, I'm sorry, it looked like a Little Rascals.
So the, what do they call them there? The Dead End Kids or the...
Something like that, yeah.
Or the
He-Man Woman Hater Club.
They were also known as the Bowery Boys for a little bit. They've gone by different names, but it's basically like... It started as a teenage version of the Little Rascals, but then they all eventually became 40-year-old men by the end of the
little
thing.
ne'er-do-wells.
But they were still like wearing the same clothes and the hats and doing the same shtick.
The little
but it was like
vagrants.
1950 when they started in like 1939. It's just kind of like I haven't seen any of those because I'm just not a fan. And it's funny you guys brought up Little Rascals because I think they showed in that trailer there's an actor, or maybe there's another trailer coming after it, but no, it wasn't that trailer. It wasn't for that movie. But one of the guys that was a member of that group for a little bit was one of the original Little Rascals, Our Gang. He was also the first African-American member of the Little Rascals. His name was, I think it was Sunshine Sammy Morrison, which, again, just Sammy Morrison maybe, but the moniker that he had through Our Gang, which was what it was called before Little Rascals, was Sunshine Sammy Morrison, and he went on to join these guys, which can't remember if they're the Denon kids or the Gas House kids or the Bowery Boys or whatever the fuck they are in that movie.
The Gas House?
That might be a different group of hoodlums, and they were called the Gas House Kids, and that's like a couple films. It was not successful. Go look up.
Very similar to the Pump House Boys.
Yeah, Pump House Boys. Oh, bro, I'm gonna write it. The Pump House Boys for sure. It is something to go look at Lugosi's 9 films that he did for Monogram, because it wasn't just horror stuff where he's playing a mad scientist. He has some espionage thrillers. He has some. There was a role where he's kind of like a racketeer or a gangster. There's a role where he's just kind of
when you
like,
play tennis.
I wish. I think Lugosi would have loved to play an athlete.
And the racketeer when you play tennis.
Well,
Right, yeah.
hey, right. And you put your best racketeer forward, and you hit that ball as hard as you can, and you volley it to the other side. I don't know any tennis terms.
That's what you call Serena and Venus, a couple of racketeers.
Right, exactly. 2 best racketeers of the game of all time, dude.
We brought him in on racketeering charges.
So good they were.
Somebody
brought
get the
down
referee.
Somebody get the referee. My God, gotta love him. All right, so I think we are going to get into the exciting conclusion of Invisible Ghosts. Before we get into it, what are we thinking? Obviously, Lugosi's a murderer. His wife is alive, and
the wife's got to come back in some capacity, right?
Right. She keeps appearing, and when she does, it sends him into a trance state.
It would be weird if she didn't like come into the house. I think, or at least them come into contact.
They have to. You would.
She's
hope.
gonna kill him.
Ooh. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, that would be
She's
good.
gonna kill him.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be. I like that. So we will find out when we get into this. So Fresh, if you have it queued up,
I'm ready.
All right, then we are. Oh, my headphones. Hold on, sorry. My headphones aren't on right. It's driving me crazy. All right, if Fresh has it queued up, and he does, so we are going to get into the exciting conclusion of Invisible Ghost.
Now let's see. What did I do wrong?
Ice to taste, bro, for sure,
Much better with
dog.
ice.
For sure. We put ice in our drinks because it was going out much slower.
Yeah, we
before.
were riffing on the recipe, but honestly, ice to taste.
Ice to taste. God damn. You gotta cut this shit. It's too much. Have you ever had a Long Island iced tea without ice?
With no ice.
There's a reason.
Honestly,
it's called Long Island iced tea.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good point.
I never thought about it that way until tonight. It's funny what you learn on this program outside of
movies.
Useless horror movie information. Sometimes you learn things that are important if you like to drink and go to bars, and you wonder about these things.
Whoa.
That was like a whip pan.
Yeah, that looks like it went.
That was fast. That's hard to do back in those days with as big as the fucking cameras were.
Spun all the way around.
It's got that light right there, right? And he walks into it, which
Yeah.
is so cool because first he's fully lit, and then he gets here, and it's just half of his face. Again,
that's carefully set up.
Joseph H. Lewis knows how to use Lugosi properly in the way of, what do I want in my shots? I want him looking creepy. I want him being scary. So let me light it this way.
It's less about what he says and more about
just how he looks.
How he
and
looks.
yeah, a lot of the other movies, Lugosi, again, I've said he doesn't give monologues, but he certainly, in the other Monogram horror movies that we've watched so far, there's a lot of talking, for sure. There's not a lot of talking in this movie, and some people kind of deride it for that, but I just rather see Lugosi wandering around.
Just doing him.
Doing him. And that shadow and the moving camera, it's gotta be hard.
When he was downstairs in the landing, the lightning flash in the shadow, I thought that looked great.
Ah, I didn't even think about that. Very, very good eyes, Evan.
That guy's pants. It's so
Dun,
high.
dun, 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 dun.
Fresh, you wear your pants that high, right? Like you.
No,
have
mine
those
go a little
suspenders.
higher than that.
Oh, okay.
High pants gang.
Up to your nipples, right?
Yeah, I want to make sure the crotch of my pants separates my nuts.
Right, right. So it's got to go up to the nipple line to really ride up there to be able
You
to
really
do that
gotta
properly.
pull 'em off.
Right, right. Oh shit. Is he in his daughter's room?
Looks like it. Well, there's nobody else left to kill.
It's okay, it's his daughter. But it's not okay because of the implication.
I mean, honestly, when he walked into the maid's room, I really didn't know what.
When he closed the door, that's intense.
Yeah,
that's
I didn't
really
know what they
effective
were
in a like in
about
this
to
day
imply.
and age in an uncomfortable way.
Yeah.
The book kind of played some of that down, and I was like, no, nowadays that's effective. The way they do the lightning. Oh shit. It broke him out.
Where am I? What am I doing?
And they say serial killers have those moments sometimes. If they have said that they've gotten into a trance state, sometimes they have that moment of clarity of like, wait a minute, where am I right now? What am I doing? All right, I gotta get out of here. And again, this Universal wasn't doing serial killers or, because it's basically what's implied here, right? From the murders before.
Right, you could say, I guess he's a
serial
huge
killer.
state
He has a
serial killer.
Yeah, and he has a specific way of doing it,
An MO.
and the police at that time couldn't figure out, putting his unbreathable fabric jacket over people's faces. Who could have thunk it? Only the screenwriters of this film, who couldn't figure out much else.
Imagine being asked to put the grandfather clock at the top of the stairs.
That's the thing. In these Poverty Row, I imagine all these technicians are getting paid jack squat. So you got Joseph H. Lewis, who's like, I really want the shot to look really good, so what I need you to do is
something on this
carry
landing.
this grandfather clock up the steps. It's like, fuck, this guy's asking way too much. We gotta tell this guy to chill out. We gotta remind him where he's at. He's at Poverty Row.
This is a pretty well-dressed set.
Well-dressed set, great quality copy. Look, we can see almost the hair gel. I mean, everything is very. Most public domain copies that you'd find on DVD when I was growing up, this would look horrible.
Nothing, Paul.
Look at this.
I think I'll read for a while. Good night.
No dust, no I mean, every once in a while you'll get a little artifact, but it's not continuous.
Oh, don't yawn, Bella. It's contagious.
Oh, God.
Fuck. 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 Shit. God damn. God, fuck. Oh, hush, Charles. Charlie, my dog, ladies and gentlemen, making his first appearance
Special
on the
guest.
stream.
Here, live in the studio.
Scheduled appearance from Charlie, everybody, live and in person.
She's like, I fucking hate you.
She's like, what the fuck? What? You're horrible. That's kind of cool to be able to do that, like, out of focus and focus like that. That might be a post effect, actually. Probably. Yes.
What? She's gone?
Why
She wasn't a part of the window. She was out. Why is he rubbing the window?
Well, you look like you had a good night's sleep, Mr. Kessler.
I was so tired when I got to bed, I don't even remember climbing in.
Is he wearing shoulder pads? He's looking more stout than... Huh?
Oh.
Who would do a thing like that?
Uh-oh. Aw.
I guess I'll have to sack one of the servants.
I wonder if anyone was hurt. No, see, you said, oh, I gotta sack one of the servants. Did you hear what he said? I wonder if anyone was hurt. That's the exact opposite of I gotta sack the servants. Who says that? I would say, we gotta fire these people.
You're right, Evans.
Are you okay? I was worried about you.
Where is the new cook?
That's what I'm saying. This is not a normal Lugosi character
Right,
when
yeah.
he's not a murderous maniac, which that's a normal Lugosi character. But the beauty here is he's not like that all the time.
There's a valise. She didn't leave. I'm not worried about that. When did she tell you she's going to the market? Last night before she went to bed.
Do you think there's any connection between this and what has happened before?
I don't know.
Have you been through the rest of the house yet?
Do you think that dialogue is very on the nose?
Oh, Marie. You have no idea how happy I am to see you.
Thank you. I wonder why he was so glad to see me.
Mr. Kessler thought you had been murdered.
I love the way he delivered that. Because I was thinking in my head, I didn't think he'd say it like that. He thought you were killed. He thought somebody murdered you.
I get it.
It's just like, what the fuck? Where am I right now? I don't read the paper. I don't know about what murders.
Thank you.
I knew the turnover here was high, but I
didn't know it could be murder. Oh, it's like, oh, bad joke. Too soon.
Didn't it fall? No. Find me the person who did it and you've got your murderer.
Nobody came into this house last night. Ryan and his boys were stationed outside.
Somebody murdered this painting.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Hacked it to bits. Ripped her vocal cords out. Shattered her teeth. It's just a painting. It feels horrible. Oh my god, come on.
What?
I'll never know.
Please just let it be shoes. Aw.
Who is that?
That's that other guy.
Oh, you guys
Did you
are
see
ahead
him
of me.
blink?
No.
He like closed his eyes as he was falling.
Yeah.
He went. We just found this dead body, but I'm more concerned about this damaged painting than anything else.
Noises during the night.
No, but there's funny things going on around here.
Do such a thing.
It's happened 3 times now. I
put food on the sink, left the room. When I come back, it was gone.
No. You ought to hire a detective to watch it.
These are some remarkably loyal employees.
That's what you get for being
Loyal
such an excellent
employees
cook.
and fucking dumb cops, because the questions make no sense that the students
I
ask.
don't know. I found this in the picture.
Anybody else know about it?
No, I wanted to speak to you first.
Okay. See if I can match it. Keep the others
What is
down.
that, hair? What is
It
he
looks like
matching?
hair. I'll see if I can match it.
I'm gonna match it.
I agree.
I just wanted you to tell me what it was. I'm gonna match it.
Yes, fine.
I thought I'd seen it on you. Found it in Evans's room.
Well, there's nothing strange about that.
There wouldn't be, Mr. Kessler, but it so happens that a thread from this robe was found embedded in the picture.
Surely you're not trying to accuse Evans.
Oh, it's incredible. You're just trying to make a case.
Well, somebody's been doing these killings. Ryan didn't die of heart failure, don't forget that.
When did you give Evans that robe, Mr. Kessler?
I don't remember giving it to him at all. But naturally, when my things need mending, he just picks them up.
I don't care how he got it. He had it and he used it on that picture. I'm going to talk to him.
Just a minute, Lieutenant.
He used the jacket on the picture.
He suffocated that painting.
He destroyed that picture. He just took that jacket and flung it. The silk was so heavy it just tore through that painting with the velocity that just shredded it to pieces.
Yeah, what is this jacket?
That canvas crumbled under the weight of that heavy silk.
You still got the robe. Before Evans is accused, I'm definitely in favor of giving him a sanity test. What do you say, Lieutenant?
Okay.
This robe is a
Maybe I
deadly
better
weapon.
take one myself.
Silk and iron threads embedded.
Shall we make the examination here?
Got one of those 1940s self-defense robes.
I want to see him and then go up to you two.
Go to my room.
It's a gee.
Is it possible, Doctor, for a man to be normal, say, for 2 or 3 months at a time, then go completely insane for an hour or two?
Yes, quite common.
This should be most interesting.
Now what?
The fuse must have blown.
I light the candles.
Fuse must have blown.
You can see, like, so somebody backstage is like got a giant spotlight that they're literally following them with.
Nope, that's
it's
the
a
candle.
good effect. These candles
You
are really
gotta
strong.
tilt it up. You gotta pan it.
That'll have to do, gentlemen, until the lights are fixed.
We gotta stoke this fire. I want more fire, more
Look
flames.
how much light
Get it
those
up.
candles are giving off.
Get it up. Yeah, those. It's just a couple candles, but
That'll
it's
have
not
to do, and it's like so bright.
It's not an industrial spotlight that's probably half blinding all these actors.
To be fair, we've done something kind of remarkably similar.
Good point. Good point.
Sit down.
Nope. Fuck these guys.
Go ahead, Evans. Sit
They should have
down.
done better.
We want to talk to you.
All right, sit down.
Seriously, he looked like he rolled his eyes like, this is dumb. Kindly Lugosi. Fucking cigar dude. Fuck this dude. Fuck his cigar.
guy.
Cigar.
This gentleman would like to
policeman.
ask you a few questions, Evans. Yes, sir?
You know these men?
Oh, this is a Jim Can't Swim video now. They're interrogating him.
What's this gentleman's name?
Mr. Kessler. Mr. Charles Kessler, sir.
Would you say that Mr. Kessler is out of his mind?
I don't understand you.
Would you say that he is insane?
No, sir.
Watch as the interrogator tries to build rapport with the suspect.
Yeah. You can tell by his body language throughout the interview, he is clearly harboring something he doesn't want to tell.
Oh, she's in the house.
Here we go.
So
Wow.
she
Gotta get a
was-
snack before she kills him.
She was a silent movie ingenue with Lon Chaney Sr. In his breakout role in a movie called The Miracle Worker or The Miracle Man, something like that.
It's mine, I take it.
Miracle Man. The Miracle Worker is a Helen Keller thing. The Miracle Man. It was called The Miracle Man.
I'm going home.
19.
Home to my husband.
20?
My daughter.
Of course you are, and we know where you live, too.
You do?
Sure.
No, I didn't write down the year.
Sure, you live down at the station.
I'm dead.
Of course you are. I'll take you where you want to go. Now you just come with me, young lady.
Young lady.
Yeah, young.
This is like kind of a thankless role for her, unfortunately.
Don't ask him that, Doc.
You know.
Getting to have doubts
I mean,
myself.
what's...
Please, Lieutenant.
You know, it's kind of sad. She's got a sad story, but
Am I
it's just
crazy?
kind of a thankless role.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Wow, he's in such disbelief he took his cigar out of his mouth for 5 seconds.
I know that
What?
woman. She's wicked. She can't go home.
Yes. Yes, I know. She's bad. Now you come with me. There we are.
Ever see this before?
Yes, sir.
What were you doing with it last night?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Look what we found.
Look what we found.
What we found.
Not
Wow.
who.
Yeah.
She don't say much, so she's just like a
You hear
thing.
me? I'm dead.
Look at this thing.
Oh, he's in his trance.
Look, go see Train State.
I'm afraid to come home. You'd kill me. You'd kill anybody.
It's Kessler.
Take her out, quickly.
Oh shit. Yeah, well, yeah. I like that strange shit. Or they just creep behind. Okay, yeah. Creep behind him.
Sure are. What is it, boy?
Trouble in the basement?
With who? The sheriff.
Ah!
Shit. Oh, yeah. Kill this. His cigar should have fucking got stuck in his throat, and he should have not been dead by now.
Close that door. Now you sit right there, and we'll see that you get home all right.
Oh, shit.
Give me
Oh.
that, George. She's dead.
Is this dude... Is he gonna strangle this guy to death right here? Oh, okay.
Holy shit.
Wow.
What?
Close one.
Oh.
What happened here? We've got the murderer.
Oh, no.
Evans.
Nope.
Mr. Kessler. You.
Oh, man. Womp, womp, womp. Oh, don't you feel horrible for him? Don't you feel that's horrible. Me, I'm the killer. He's
Haha,
like,
I knew it was me all along.
And I would have gotten away with it too.
I mean, but this almost validates those serial killers that have said they've gone into a trance state and that it wasn't just, you know, he wasn't just like, oh, I can't believe I've done this horrible stuff. You know, that's how this movie kind of ended. He was like, oh, I'm the killer, damn it, that sucks. I don't think Ted Bundy was like, oh, I'm the one that's been raping and killing these college kids.
Yeah, I think he was aware.
Damn it, yeah, he was fully aware. And I certainly think that, tonight's ending almost validates that idea of, oh, somebody kills in a trance state. Can you blame them? Can you feel bad? Because Lugosi, like, we found the killer. It's you. He's like,
I don't know. That's a whole other conversation.
It is. Aren't you in favor of the death penalty? No, I'm just kidding. That is a whole other conversation.
That's a whole other
conversation. Touchy territory on the Scream Stream tonight. Lugosi doing it to us as usual. He's, how he is, controversial Lugosi. Always bringing something, interesting for us. Honestly, I've got to say, and I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on this, but as far as the Lugosi movies especially from Monogram that we've seen up to this point, and whatever we've watched from Lugosi in general, what do we think about this?
About this movie?
Yeah.
I think this one stands out a lot. I mean, especially
I think
from
the best one.
Yeah, from definitely the best directed. There's, as we've said, so much going on artistically, shot-wise, framing-wise, lighting-wise. The story of this one is even a lot more interesting, I would say, than...
It's interesting. Some stuff is weird. It's weird, or it's like, why the fuck is the gardener hiding the wife? Why does he just say, hey,
wait, I have a question. I looked away for like a second, and then the wife was dead. What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
Really?
Did she just die? Just walk in the room and die?
Pretty much. There's no the book kind of talks about it as there's no explanation for it, but either in original drafts or in other versions or even in press material, it's this idea that she had some kind of supernatural hold on him, and somehow all of this, her dying, which again is just random, broke the hold over him. Because the original title, when Monogram announced that they had Lugosi for a movie, the original title was Murder by the Stars. Or something, murder something. So it was implying this idea that there is some kind of other, not supernatural necessarily, but some kind of paranormal element to it all, or some kind of
extra natural connection.
Right. And so all the stuff with what hold did the wife have over Lugosi's character Kessler during the movie, it remains to be seen. And honestly, I'm just thinking of this now, and it's kind of it's completely unrelated, but did you guys know that the original name of the character Kramer in Seinfeld was Kessler?
Interesting. It's all connected. It's all coming together now.
It all comes back. No.
Yeah. I mean, I think that you could maybe say that her being kind of away from home and kind of existing in this kind of limbo state, where she finally comes back home, and it's almost in a sense that she is a ghost. She comes back home, she's back where she belongs, and then she can finally rest.
That's a good point. I never thought of it like that. Because, we see her a lot outside the home looking in and, very sad. And then it sends Lugosi into this murderous state. And only once she comes in do things finally change. Mm-hmm. And so, I think that essentially any cinematic story, your big kind of whether it's an act changing point or a climactic point, it's just the idea that, okay, the rules up to now are changed. Things are changed now by this big event. And I think we certainly, when the wife died, it was like, okay, why did this happen? So kind of trying to trace it back. And again, I love to try to make sense of these movies that don't make a lot of sense. Again, for me, I can't get over the fact why the gardener never was like, hey, I found your wife. Like, she, like, he's like, I'm waiting for her to recover from her amnesia. And it's like, he's a doctor. What just... And again, maybe he'd kill her. He'd kill anybody. That's what she said. Mm-hmm. Right? No pun intended.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. She did say that. You remember? She said he'd kill him. She said he'd kill me. He'd kill anybody. And that's what she said. So
that's what she said.
That is what she said. So it is a different Lugosi movie that we've gotten tonight, and a lot of like cool camera stuff, cool technical stuff, but I think also just even with dumb plot stuff or interesting things to pick apart, I think in general you can sum that up as it's a lot of fun. The movie was a lot of fun.
Yeah, like, I liked this one.
There was a lot of cool stuff, but also, as ridiculous as some stuff was, still fun.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and I really like the movies that kind of lean more on the realism angle instead of the or how to describe it. It's kind of paranormal, but it's like not really. It's actually just a realism. It's like the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari,
right?
Where it's portrayed as being this kind of supernatural thing, but then it turns out that it's actually just a psychological.
That's the key word. That's what before you said the word, that was what I was gonna respond with. Was, you know what that is? It's psychological, and you said it. Yeah. That's what it is.
Psychological. This shit's all up in your medulla oblongata.
It's the difference between the...
You better check your cerebellum.
It's the difference between the giant monster stuff or the...
We can do all of them again.
It's the difference between the monster stuff and the real human, stuff. I mean, to... put it in those horrible, horrible terms, do you just keep saying stuff? That's what you mostly got monster things. And get out of my prefrontal cortex. That's what I say.
We're all up inside your pineal gland.
And again, there is a whole, you can kind of trace the origins of psychological horror, but of course much of horror is very much monster based. And again, you look at Universal, people love monster movies, so that was Universal's biggest things when Lugosi was making the Monogram 9. So it was cool to get a psychological thing tonight. We haven't had that really yet. We haven't had that kind of complexity in that way. So I really enjoyed that tonight.
And usually, I also enjoy how this one ended. Usually with these poverty row flicks, it's like somebody busts in with a gun and he shoots the guy and that's the end. Or like the place catches on fire and then that's the end. Whereas this one, there is the big reveal, and there is I think that there's more catharsis and there's more of a resolution, and the guy realizing that all along he was the killer.
Right.
I really like seeing Bela Lugosi have more than one dimension to his character. That was really nice.
Yeah, that's true.
I love to hear those things because that is really very much what this movie, why it's unique from every other thing that Lugosi did for the Property Row Studios. And, Evan, the thing that you had, what was it that you had just touched on? Because there was a thing that I had thought about.
Garrett's too deep in the lemonade right now, guys.
I really am.
Just
swimming.
No,
just
what
swimming
was
in the
it you
lemonade.
had just said? Because I had a jumping off point to get.
Hey, Evan, speaking of that thing you just said, what was it?
Okay, so to reiterate what I just said, so compared to the other Poverty Row flicks that we've watched, the I really like the ending of this one.
No, it's not really a segue. I was just gonna say that I thought you guys were gonna hate the ending, and fresh to hear you say to bring up Lugosi's range again. I was worried you guys were gonna hate this movie and think it was boring. You're gonna hate the ending. You're gonna think that okay, it's typical Lugosi, but
the ending was good because there's not like this is the bad guy and we got him. It was just kind of like there isn't a bad guy, but we're still gonna arrest.
Well, and again,
Lugosi.
the way the book frames it is like, oh, they just arrest the bad guy at the end. Like that's kind of the way they frame it. But again, the way that you put it, Evan, the idea of the reveal is really. Some people look at it that way, and I think some people don't. And it took me a while to see it as because I didn't know what the connection was. It was taking me a while. Like tonight, we were like, okay, well, what if this idea of she's maybe got some kind of ghostly or paranormal qualities, and when she comes into this house, whatever it is broken, and she's found peace, right? Mm-hmm. We hit on that faster than when I first watched the movie, and I'm just trying to figure out how does all this work? How do I make sense of all this? So we made sense of it faster tonight than I did in multiple watches. So success!
Hooray!
Hooray! No, it is really I can't. I'm not trying to be sappy, but I can't tell you how much it warms my heart when you guys, when you appreciate things that I thought they're going to hate this.
Nah, actually I meant fuck this movie, bro. I wasn't even watching it. That's what I meant to say.
Well, yeah, because...
Final verdict, I didn't even watch it.
I didn't even watch it.
I wasn't even paying attention.
I was pretending like I was paying attention the whole time, but really I was just playing along, and I fooled you. You got. Suck
I've been playing Among Us this whole time.
Right. Oh no. Tonight's episode has really been a lot of fun. I have really enjoyed it. We've made a lot of fun jokes and had a lot of fun, but I also think that you guys have kind of, again, you've had your Lugosi base. You're familiar with him enough that you guys are asking questions that are just kind of inherent to the whole conversation of what I have been wanting to bring up, just as far as tracking him with whatever we're watching that he's in. And you guys bring these questions up on your own, or not even questions, but just to say oh, I like this, I thought this was cool, I like that. Again, I read this book and it trashes some of these movies, and I think, oh God, Evan and Fresh are gonna hate this. And I'm like, but you guys are again, that idea of you've seen enough of these that okay, you can have an opinion about how you feel about Invisible Ghost versus how you felt about Ape Man or Phantom Creeps up to chapter 7 or how many we've watched. And so it warms my heart. Again, not to be sappy, but
can I make one more point before we go out for the night?
Please.
as we watch more of these things, and as I kind of reflect more on the things that I've seen, even the things that I've written myself, one of the things that I think about is the concept of dramatic irony, whereas the audience knows things that the characters in the scene don't, and how that relates to. So I think whenever you have a mystery, you can either frame it as hang on, I'm
No, I love it. Keep going, kid.
You got this. You got this.
I'm trying to hold onto this thread.
You got it.
You can either you can either frame it as the
So when you're swinging for long bombs away,
I'm losing it.
How do you come around to know that man, this really is what it's for?
No, you were Evan.
I think I know where you were going, and I can try. And if it's not right, let me
please
know.
keep going, and I'll see if I can. I'll see if I can get back to it.
The two ways you can frame like a mystery would be like an irony where the audience knows more than everyone in the film, or where certain characters know more than other characters in the film.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That
is
I got dramatic.
We're on the same wavelength. Probably not what you were gonna say, but
no, you're right. Same wavelength. Absolutely.
We're here. We're on the same frequencies. We're on the same megahertz right now.
So Evan. I guarantee you, we get off the stream, and
it's
Evan
immediately going to come back to
everything that he was going to say. But I love it. No, it's not even. It's just that
I got it. Okay, so it's either sorry.
No, yes, go.
It's either that it's immediately obvious to the audience who I think Fresh had it. It's either immediately obvious to the audience who the killer is, or the audience knows, but it's the characters don't know. So right. I think that's what you said, Fresh.
The two ironies.
Right. It's the two. Yeah. It's one or the other.
And I love that you guys, because you guys both hit on that, and that is really what most of these Lugosi poverty row movies do, is that it is that idea of, everybody thinks Lugosi is this kindly doctor person, but actually, whether it's through dramatic irony that it's just the characters don't know, or like tonight's case where it was a psychological thing where even Lugosi didn't know. That was what was cool about tonight.
That was
that like he didn't even know he was the killer. Like in most movies, he has intentions for what he's doing. Tonight's film, it was this idea of a fugue state that caused him to go crazy, and that's what you hear about serial killers. And you don't see a lot of classic horror movies that touch on such. I don't think they knew that idea of the serial killer as a term at the time, and that this could be maybe qualified as that. But I think it can. The idea that there have been murders before, and I just think,
I mean, how many people do you have to kill with a specific MO before you can call yourself a serial killer?
Right. How many silk jackets do you have to hold over heads before you're like, this is my calling card?
Before someone calls you the silk jacket killer.
Right.
You go in for questioning, and they're like, so we have strong evidence that you're a serial killer, and you're like, Actually, I killed each victim in a different way, so technically, I am not a serial killer. I just killed a lot of people.
Well, actually, I have a very specific method. I mean, really, but again, that is what is so cool about tonight, is that we got something that we really don't normally get. And
it makes me feel kind of bad for Lugosi, because, like, he could, like, you know, act, and instead, in every other movie, they're like, yeah, you're just this super evil bad, like, black and white bad guy. Like,
right.
No depth to your character at all.
Right. Yeah, and I love that, and that is the difference here tonight, is that there was depth here tonight, and yeah, most times it's just, okay, you're the mad scientist, you're the bad guy, and he just, like in Ape Man, you can see how over it he is. He's just like, in that makeup, and he's just like, you know, moving around the set like an ape, but you can tell it's almost like he's rolling his eyes mid-take. He's just over it. He's literally over it. So, but this was the first Monogram film, so I think that he really, there was a difference here. And so, again, it's that difference between, we got to see something unique tonight that we don't see, psychological horror, versus most things that you're going to get, monster movies. So, to segue into next week, next week's film is a monster movie. We're going monster movies, and we're going to the 60s. We were in the 40s tonight, 1941. We're going to 1961, so we're jumping ahead 20 years from where we were tonight, and we are watching Creature from the Haunted Sea. Ooh. And this is a Roger Corman horror comedy. So this is, Evan was not here last season and Fresh was not here when I watched Bucket of Blood all by myself.
I thought that name sounded familiar, though.
Yes. Well, Roger Corman did The Terror, which we watched.
Ah, that's it.
The Terror.
The Terror.
The Terror.
The Tear.
The Giant Tear.
Yeah. That's
exactly
what he did. And so we've seen a couple of his movies, and we will be watching an early horror comedy. Honestly, like, I can give you a couple prototypes to the horror comedy, but Roger Corman was really the one that pioneered it as we know it today. And Creature from the Haunted Sea was kind of the tail end of it. So this was one of those movies that he wanted a vacation, so they shot it in Puerto Rico, and he like shot like 2 movies in 2 weeks, even though they'd scheduled 4 weeks, and then he took the other 2 weeks as vacation. So he got the 2 movies he was contracted to make knocked out, and then he vacationed. That was how Roger did things back then.
That's how I want to do it, on the company dime.
That's how Roger did it. He charged American International. They would send him somewhere. So that was how they would do it. Is American International Pictures would give Roger money to make one movie, and then Roger would take that money and use half of it to make one movie for American International, and then take the other half to make a movie for his production company. And they kind of let him get away with it. They were like, we can't really do anything about it. He's already doing it. He's like Roger didn't ask permission. Roger, and he's still alive. Like, Roger's great. I love Roger Corman. He's one of my favorites. So we're going to be watching Creature from the Haunted Sea, classic monster movie, horror comedy. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm very excited. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Thank you, Evan. Thank you, Fresh. As always, we're gonna plug all of our stuff now. Check us out on Instagram for all the drinks, all the latest movies. Check us out on Twitter for pretty much Dolly generations now. That's like all
Right,
I'm
we're
doing on.
we're deep in the Dolly.
Yeah, we're pretty heavy into
We're
Dolly
pretty heavy
now.
in the Dolly, obviously. Dolly wave, clearly.
We're in
Going for a
Dollywood right now.
Dollywood kind of feel.
Yeah, get hip.
Check us out on YouTube if you want to rewatch any of the old episodes.
All the old episodes are on YouTube except Voodoo Man because it's copyrighted.
Right.
We were wrong. I got it wrong. So, but all the other old episodes are on YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitch, there's a link below. Check it out. Otherwise, just search Scream Stream on YouTube. You will find us.
We're there.
We're there. All of our old episodes are there. Those are our social pages. Fresh has some dank memes that he posts on Fresh Rogan, on Twitter, and
A bevy of
at
media.
Fresh Rogan. Are they both at Fresh Rogan on Twitter and Instagram?
They are, yes. And I would like to say, fuck the Supreme Court. They can suck my
Yeah,
fucking
that
nuts.
sucks.
Yeah.
Today sucks. We
Yeah.
knew it was coming. Everyone knew it was coming, but fuck that.
Just
We
holding
gotta
out
get it.
hope that maybe
We gotta-
they wouldn't, but
I don't know. We gotta do something. It's been around. Why these fuckers, all these stupid assholes that got in the Supreme Court in the last 3 years, all got asked. Honestly, it was a loaded question and it was a loaded answer. They would be like, "Would you overturn Roe?" And they would say, "Well, Roe is right now. Roe is the law of the land." And so, yes, that's a matter
So,
of fact, but
I'm not
you're not
gonna answer
answering
it,
how
guys.
you would. Yes,
well, I think this is very important. Like, yeah, that doesn't answer the question.
you go look at their confirmation hearings for the three that have been. Didn't we get somebody actually recently? Who did we get?
What's her
I
name?
come for Ketanji Jackson. She's the latest Supreme Court justice, and Ketanji Jackson Brown.
Mm-hmm.
She was just confirmed, but we lost.
Ginsburg.
Well, she died, and then Obama won it. Okay, we're not gonna
Anyway.
get too political. Anyway,
Just,
we're not gonna get too political.
Yeah, no
but-
politics, no politics. Just fuck the
Yeah,
Supreme
yeah,
Court.
Evergreen, evergreen.
If the fight has to go to the state level, then fight at your state level.
Vote, please vote.
Please
That's all
vote.
we'll say. Please vote this year if you care about like actual rights and freedoms, not like rights and freedoms to have stupid things that will hurt other people in a way that doesn't make any sense, but actual rights and freedoms that are about protecting people, and like if people want to choose what they want to do. That's what America was founded on. If you believe in American ideals, please vote. That's how we'll end off. We'll end off in a very somber psalm note tonight.
Well, it is a solemn and somber
And
day.
it is. It sucks. It really does suck. I didn't know about it until I had been doing a lot of stuff today, and then when I finally got a chance to check my phone and look at my news feed, it was just like,
I actually
okay.
have not done my primary ballot. I need to fill it out. It's sitting right here on my desk.
Please vote. Please, if you have a state where you can early vote.
It's a midterm year.
It's a midterm year, and
It's
and
very
people
important.
don't think it's important, but it is very important. So please vote. It really means a lot. So, not to end on a solemn note, but thank you everyone so much for joining me. Evan, Fresh, thank you guys so much. Anything before we close out?
Yeah, the Supreme Court.
Fuck the Supreme Court right now, for sure.
All right, I think that does it.
All right, well, sweet screams, everybody.
Which, please?
Are you gonna do anything, Brett? I'm Fresh. I'm giving you the time. I said, come on, Fresh.
Oh yeah, I got you. Hang on. Hang on. Fuck the Supreme Court.
Fuck the Supreme Court.